I sent Bert some stuff. I don't know if he ever took it, but that's in.
Was it in a bottle of tequila?
No, no. Supplements like L-carnitine, oral or injectable L-carnitine, incredible for sperm health, egg health, and overall kind of mitochondrial health. And then you say, oh, well, how could that be a supplement? Well, listen, in Europe, it's a prescription drug for that specific purpose. So you can find that there are supplements that are really powerful. Like a lot of people don't want to go straight to, full-blown TRT or hormone augmentation and shouldn't, right? Because it does shut down your own testosterone production, et cetera. But
testicular atrophy.
People will take HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, to offset that. But in any case, supplements like Tongat Ali, at 600 milligrams a day or 400 milligrams a day, and Fadogia agrestis, those work. Now, are they going to give you TRT-like results? Are you going to become the liver king? No. But if you want
to be liver king, you have to follow the 9 ancestral tenets of living, though, right?
Listen, then getting some morning sunlight, I'm a big proponent of that.
Is that one of the 9 ancestral tenets?
I think so. I don't know them. Cold exposure, et cetera, et cetera. It's a real shame what happened there, mostly because it could have been avoided.
It could have been avoided. Here's the thing. I mean, this has been addressed already.
And people knew. I had been tipped off long ago.
Well,
but I wasn't going to make accusations.
Do you know when I knew? When I fucking looked at him the first time. Like it's very obvious if you've been in gyms and you've been around like people in fitness that it's very clear when somebody is like juiced to the gills.
Yeah.
What is an interesting thing to bring up, and I'll leave. I mean, I feel like he's been dragged. I'm not trying to drag him. I know it's
he's been out there apologizing.
And
people now have the opportunity to form an opinion.
Here's the thing that's kind of interesting though about PEDs and having crazy physiques is that his story has brought something to the light that is actually, I think, is worth addressing, and that is, this was done for women. They started to go, hey, these body types that you are seeing on magazine covers, do you know these are all photoshopped and airbrushed, and like, even when there's like the outliers, meaning like this genetic freak, a gorgeous woman, a 10, just like an, oh my God, they're like, even she has this done on the cover of the magazine, right?
Oh, well, well, there's also now the cheekbone elevation,
but they're doing
glute implants.
But for men, I'm saying one of the things that is not, and it's funny the way that it's being dealt with is that our biggest movie stars right now are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's wild. Those are the top box office draws are 40 to 60 and
Leo
over.
DiCaprio looks natural.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a natural bod for sure. But the other ones are not. And they all have a thing of like, don't bring it up, or I'm just going to be like, no, look, I work out. And it's like, why aren't you just telling the masses and the people who go like, man, how do I do? Because there's a lot of people like, you have a fitness background, or there's people who like are exposed, who know about nutrition, weightlifting, like they know the world. A lot of people don't know anything. Like they have no idea. They think that like, they're like, oh, that's from like just going to the gym, right? They don't know. And you have guys who are starring in movies with these impossible physiques, and they should be just saying, yeah, I'm on all the shit.
Yeah, the pharmacy.
But they go, don't say it.
Yeah, so I paid attention to this space for a long time, not because I've been interested in bodybuilding, but starting in high school, got into weight training, got into supplementation. I've tried, look, if there's a supplement out there, chances are I've tried it.
Yeah.
And I know which ones work and I know which ones don't work for me. We talk about a lot of them on podcasts. If people are interested in, we cover these, and we have newsletters and toolkits and stuff, and they're all free, so you can download them from our website. But there's some telltale signs, okay? And, and when people have a huge physique and they're hypervascular, sure, there's some possibility of a genetic freak there. But actually, I know one, right?
White guy?
No, Nasima, who's Mark Bell's kind of co-host.
I know exactly.
Yeah, Nasima, I believe is natural.
Nasima,
I've seen his blood work, and I've trained with him, and you look at him and he has high fiber density, long muscle bellies. He's lean, he trains hard.
Yeah. And he's like, look,
and Mark is not. Mark is not natural.
Mark's not. And Sima's also bodybuilding. His name starts with an N. Nsima was bodybuilding at a young age. He obviously has some genetic gifts
and works super hard.
Has taken care of himself, and he's done
the Fedogia Tongat thing and actually talked about his results with it. He had, I believe, it was an increase in luteinizing hormone, which is the precursor to testosterone and estrogen increases. So, there's some effects there that people. After I started talking about it on Rogan and some other places, I got a lot of pushback, and then now Tongat Ali is being marketed like crazy. But increases in libido. Again, these aren't huge increases, but they're substantial enough in men and women. Fedogia for increases in luteinizing hormone.
But the real tell is if you see a white guy who's in shape, he's on gear.
Here's the deal. The deal. If there are some telltale signs, and obviously Brian Johnson, Liver King had them, but others have them too. So I'm not picking on Brian at all. And I hope that he sorts out his health, because his real risk is his health. When I looked at what he's taking there, the MDs I know who are in that space were just like, yikes. They see a patient and a potential health hazard.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets it sorted out. One thing that you'll notice is when people go on TRT, these creases get deeper from some of the edema, the tissue retention that comes from the increase in estrogen associated. So if you look
like
at
a gaunt kind of
you look at the creases between the nose and the cheeks. Yeah, how deep those creases are, right? So almost like the cheeks are trying to crawl up on the nose.
Wait, so what's
even
happening
though somebody's
there?
lean? It's edema. It's which is swelling fluid retention, because some of the testosterone converts to estrogen. So people then will start taking estrogen blockers or what are called aromatase blockers, and then a lot of people don't realize this, but if your estrogen is pushed too low as a male or female, your libido crashes. So a lot of the bodybuilders that look like they were wrapped in saran wrap, ask them how they're feeling. Okay. It's not, often not great. They'll flatline their libido. So you don't want to crush your estrogen either. You don't want it too high, but you don't want it too low.
And they have like this shoulder muscle that is usually a tell for people.
So there's a lot of androgen receptor in the deltoids and traps. So some people say the traps, the real telltale is this creasing here. And even from TRT, people are taking, and TRT of course being testosterone replacement therapy, but there's no line between TRT and full-blown steroid use, right? Like where do you draw the line? And in some professional sports, I've been told directly by the players, in some leagues, what you'll find is that if you had an injury, you can take up to 200 milligrams of testosterone a week.
A week?
A week, which is usually what's distributed over a 2-week period for a kind of standard TRT dose. So don't tell me that they're not also on it. And I won't say what league it is, but basketball. Anyway, so the players all talk about it, right? They all talk about it. It's absolutely clear. I didn't say which basketball league.
No, that's right.
In any case, so
also those abs are kind of wild, right? On this guy.
Yeah, and you see some lean guys. We had a gymnast that went to our high school, and another guy that went to the Olympics for luging, of all things. And that kid was lean, and he was natural, right?
But the bulk on top of that.
Well, so it's the creasing here, and then there's the left side vein, or it's a major artery. When somebody's talking and they're not having just finished some physical exercise and they got this left side vein kind of bulging out of the side, that's the elevation in blood pressure. And you see that in almost everybody that's on high levels of TRT or full-blown kind of steroid use. Not always. And of course, if a normal person who's if a typical person who's not on these things is doing a set of squats in the gym, you'll see that. But you can see that's just in conversation. And so, there's these telltale signs, and there's the ruddiness of the skin. People get a little bit red because of the increased blood flow. And listen, a lot of these folks are also taking things like vasodilators, like Cialis and Viagra, to kind of get more pump into the muscles before they shoot their things. It's a whole.
They're taking Cialis and Viagra before their photo shoots?
Well, to get more blood into their muscles. I mean, it's a whole world. Really? Of pharmacology.
I did not know this.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Now, keep in mind that Cialis, actually low-dose Cialis, was actually originally prescribed as a prostate drug because it increases blood flow to the prostate, can offset prostate cancer and middle of the night trips to the bathroom. But that's low dose, not for erectile dysfunction. And a lot of football players now in the NFL are taking Viagra prior to games to lower their blood pressure and to increase blood flow. Drugs in sports. Drugs are rampant in sports.
I know this, and I have friends in like four major leagues of like the big sports in the United States, and I've heard different drug stories from each of them about like what So I knew that. I did not know about the Viagra Cialis thing.
Even in biathlon,
really?
Ski and shoot. What would you like to happen when you go from skiing to shooting? You'd like your heart rate to slow so you can hold the gun steady and focus. Propranolol, you take a beta blocker. So there's a ton of this stuff, and a lot of it's banned. Some of it's not banned.
How are they not all hard when they're taking Viagra?
Well, so the interesting thing about
they
those
are.
drugs, about Viagra and Cialis, is they increase peripheral blood flow through disruption of this enzyme pathway. Again, low dose Cialis, tadalafil, like, in the 5 milligram per day range, is a common treatment for prostate health that, I think actually more men should know about.
Yeah.
Because prostate health is extremely important, and it kind of gets lumped into, the drug kind of gets lumped into the sexual performance arena without, and doing so overlooking its potential roles for prostate health.
Yeah.
Because increasing blood flow through the prostate can help with a number of things, prostatitis to be one, but other things as well. But the way those drugs work is that the neural pathways associated with sexual arousal have to be triggered before the erection response happens. So so when they're playing football,
But if your hand's in the dirt and you're looking up at a guy that you really want to fuck and you just took a Viagra, you could get a result.
I'm guessing that the protective gear kind of shields the viewers from that. But
that's too bad.
Yeah. So, drugs in sports are rampant. I actually really want to get Jeff Nowitzki, I think his name is, that they call him the Golden Snitch. He now works for the UFC. He was the guy that did the whole Balco Barry Bonds scandal.
Oh, that'd be a cool.
Look, there are new drugs being developed all the time. I love this as kind of a hobby topic, not on TRT.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jeff Nowitzki. Yeah, so he's definitely not on TRT. He's the guy that busts people for it.
Yeah.
UFC is actually one of the more heavily drug-tested sports, and I've seen their banned substances list. A lot of UFC fighters contact me about different things, and I just say, listen, refer back to the list. But, there's a lot also happening. You mentioned Hollywood. So this is all the men, people are thinking muscles, but on the female side, peptide use is rampant.
Peptide use is huge.
Okay, so it's sermorelin, if depending on how you want to pronounce it, which is a IGF-1 and growth hormone secretagogue, sounds like synagogue, but secretagogue, stimulates growth hormone release, not as potent as full-blown growth hormone, but makes people leaner, kills their appetite, tissue repair.
I take BPC 157.
That's for tissue repair. That's a gastric peptide.
I don't take it now, but I was taking thymosin beta 4.
Yeah, so unclear to me exactly what thymosin beta 4 is.
I stopped really just because, I don't know.
Well, you look like you're in good shape. You were flexing out there in the lobby. And,
whole life I've been trying to gain weight and I can't. But I just have one of those bodies, man.
You look really fit. I was going to say, I walked in, like, we've never met in person before.
I know. Thank you, man.
Despite, we're related. So it's like, this is an important control experiment.
Once I knew you were coming on, I was like, I know Huberman's jacked. I got to fucking get ready.
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.